So our next match will be now. I do remember, Nikolai, you did say Rote Canada. Is it they aren't forming a team? Is that correct?
Rote Canada did give a bye on their first match. We'll see if they show up later, but they will be dropping to the losers bracket. So that means the next match will be match 8, CAS versus the Quantum Kestrels.
So in our unlicensed, we had the Quantum Kestrels versus the Photon Pheasants, and it was just the brawl to end all brawls. Both teams coming in at 0 in high damage Galenti ships. One side with Logi, the other side bringing a Cyclone, and the match was over in what, maybe a minute and a half. It was spectacular.
It was a interesting massacre, to be sure.
Nice. Just in your face. Let's do this. Me and you. Let's go.
Yep. Let's see who can take the most punches before they fall down.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we saw some great piloting by the Cyclone, of course, from I believe it was the Quantum Kestrels.
Yes.
He liberal application of heat managed to survive in about 20% hull and boost back up his shields before they dealt with the rest of the ships in the Photon Pheasants team. It was a very exciting match. Just in your face.
Yeah, calculated.
Exactly. I don't think he was bait tanking.
Yeah. Oh, did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Wanted to make this exciting.
Of course, there's always that moment where you're like, I'll just bait tank a bit, guys. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then like an arty thing hits you and it just drops you so far, and you just pucker that little bit. And you're like, overheat and turn everything on.
Yeah.
Fuck bait tanking.
Yeah. Mistakes are made. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Really curious to see what the next teams will bring to the match tournament.
Yeah, that was actually the first time we saw both Lynx, Logi, and Ewar, and I don't know if we'll see it again, but definitely didn't work out well in that case.
No, it would be interesting to see a setup with Logi on each side. That would be interesting.
I'd like to see that.
I think it might be too slow.
Lynx, I believe, are still extremely important ships. Not only if you're getting the battlecruiser coming into this, yes, you're giving up a lot of points. As we saw there, if make Omar great again, they use it in such a masterful way. Again, the Lynx and they're broad and they're fast, and you can switch your Lynx. And I'm pretty sure I would guess that they probably had armor resistance Lynx, so that just made them even tankier. In a 5v5 tournament, when from my own experience, a lot of it comes down to just outlasting your opponent. So if like you have a ship, one of your friendly ships being targeted, being focused by the enemy, and of course you yourself are focusing on one of their ships, and you have like an equal array of damage going between the two teams, and you usually see that the team that outlasts, whoever goes down first is usually going to be the guys who are going to lose. Just because then you're already applying your damage to another ship, and of course damage dropped on your team. So outlasting in these, small man tournaments, such a huge factor that people don't think about, and that's why having higher bonus resistance is a big thing, and having a really amazing tank, is a really big factor.
You bring up we almost called the match. We might have even said out loud that the match was called, and we had these two Gilas earlier managed to pull off because they're such strong ships on both the tank and the DPS side, that they were able to still pull their team back. So it was one of those, it seemed like they were losing the game early, but because they had their top two cruisers, faction cruisers, still very strong, they were able to pull their team back to a victory.
Yeah, and that was, I think, due to a lot of very skilled piloting.
Absolutely, they were
on both sides
trading off. Absolutely, they were trading off who was tackling, who was dealing DPS, who was within range, who was out of range, and just really communicating. And that's the thing about that makes, I think, small gang warfare in EVE interesting on both the structured and unstructured side.
Sure, especially even more so in these little 5-man tournaments, is the communication between pilots. Like, even if you've lost your ship and you're in your pod, you can still be providing intel to the other guys in your fleet. You can be zooming out, you can be looking at the positioning of the enemy ships, of your friendly ships, and you can be advising people. You can be saying, look out, this guy's coming round, he's going to try and tackle you. And that communication, a lot of people will just stop once they die, but a good team will keep that communication up, and they'll be feeding into the remaining pilots. Those guys in the Gilas were able to, with the help from their dead teammates, pull it out of the bag.
Right,
Oh, yeah, you
especially
become
with
another
that
set of eyes.
micromanagement. They were very well managing the drones when we saw the ECM drones going in on the Gila's drones and them pulling and relaunching, or how they were manually piloting. Our own AT team definitely grew better as we learned to die but communicate better. As you leave, make sure you contribute all that information. There's still a lot available simply from an overview. And we do have both teams landing on grid, and these are two setups we have not seen yet that I am excited to announce. So once we get Lux, we will go ahead and go live to the arena for the next match of the Center for Advanced Studies versus the Quantum Kestrels. Now this is interesting because the Castabouts made an appearance in the AT for the first time as essentially an entity built from an NPC corp, which we saw for the first time this year, and they absolutely started demolishing people. So it'll be interesting to see what they do today. So in the arena, we have the CAS team of a Magus, Tristan, Demos, and 2 Deacon. So going with the double T2 Logifrigs versus a Mollusk, Caracal, 2 Jackdaws, and a Cerberus for the other team. This is going to be really interesting. The Jackdaw Caracal team landing at 50, while the Armor team looks like they're landing at about 10 to 20.
Yeah, no, I'm not so sure I agree with this choice to take 2 Tech 1 Logifrigs, or Tech 2 Logifrigs, I should say. I mean, that's 2/5 of your entire team, and quite a high number of points as well. So you're really left with not a huge amount of damage on the field
Right,
compared to the
it
other
looks
team.
like they're going to be really relying. This Tristan better be able to deal, and Demos better be able to deal some serious damage, and not easily done against something like a Jackdaw and a Cerberus. It's going to be interesting to see what the choices of targets and tackle are.
Yeah, for sure. I think we'll be able to tell a lot about this match depending how it goes in the first 20 seconds or so, as the rapid light clips from the Quantum Kestrels get expended, because once they hit reload, the damage from that team is just going to stop, and that gives the Castabouts plenty of time to get in about them and continue to apply that DPS. So if they can survive, if those 2 Deacons can survive or keep up whatever the primary is, past that first reload, then we could be in for a much more interesting match.
Yes, sir. And looks like the countdown is starting. So we're going to be definitely looking at these, as always, usually becomes a huge factor. We had some brawls that went into the 8th and 9th minute, but I don't know if this one's going to make it there.
No, like I said, I expect this one will be decided in the first 30 seconds or so, one way or the other.
So if we had to place bets in this last 10 seconds, what's it going to be?
I'm going to place my bets on the Quantum Kestrels here.
Quantum Kestrels.
All right. It
Castabouts
appears
going to have a tough one.
Yeah, definitely. So the match is just about to start. Countdown is going on local. We're on 3, 2, 1, and we are underway. Immediately, the Castabouts rushing up towards the Quantum Kestrels, which are slowly pulling away, but we're seeing a huge amount of damage landing onto that first Deacon.
right. It looks like they're getting their first light missile volleys onto this light ship. Make sure that Logi is gone.
Yeah, they really should be thinking about pulling those Deacons back and just using getting them out of range of those Caracals, really, because they're not going to hold. You can see he's already dropping. Not seen a single rep so far, and he is in low hull, and he is gone. So now with one of the 2 ships down, and well, I'd say, like I said, first 20 seconds, I think it's just been decided.
It very well could be, but
And I'm willing to be proven wrong. I'm willing to be proven wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be.
I now don't think you are. It appears the second Deacon is close to 0 still. He's in half armor and he's repping a Tristan that he does not want to let go.
The reps are
But he's
landing on that
holding
Tristan
him.
and holding, and I
Without
think we
his
might have.
Logi buddy, this other Deacon's gonna slowly go down himself.
Yeah, but I do believe we are going to be into the reload time of those caracals, so the DPS will be falling off of that team. So if they can get up and get some tackle and get that Demos on top of some of those ships, then maybe they still have a chance. But that's a big ask. I mean, that Deacon is in low armor
and
going
it
into
looks
structure.
like the only thing taking serious damage right now is that Maulus.
And that's that Deacon down.
Deacon. And so we'll be looking at Tristan to disappear soon. Can get to work on this Magus and Demos.
And there goes the Tristan. So now we have a Demos against the entire team of Quantum Kestrels. And although they may be on reload, I don't think this Demos is going to be able to solo 2 caracals Cerberus in 20 seconds or so.
Yeah, I don't know if he can solo the Maulus or the Caracal. Even without all this other... this is, like you said, you absolutely called it. Quantum in the first few minutes, absolutely wrecking.
Demos now into hull and just eviscerated. The only remaining ship now of... No, I believe that's it. I had them in the wrong line.
And that's it. A clean sweep with that Maulus staying alive. So the entire team managing to get through, not unscathed, but unbloodied for sure.